So, Hare Krishna, and welcome to the Bhagavad-gita lecture. So, today we continue with chapter 6, and it's verse number 36. So, let's do the invocation mantras. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So I will be sharing the screen, and then we can see, so that you can see the text. Let me see here. So there you go. So this is Lord Krishna speaking. Before that was Arjuna's question. It was in 34, I think it was. It's not a question, it was a statement by Arjuna where he says, the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong, O Krishna, and to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind. So then I gave the example of this, very big waves in the ocean that they can create a lot of wind and a lot of disaster. So that's how strong the wind is. It can make the whole ocean to become turbulent and tornadoes and so on. But Arjuna is saying it's easier to control the wind than the mind. And I also gave the example of there was when Arjuna was going to learn how to do the how do you call it, archery, when you send the arrows, to shoot arrows, and you have to be like, your attention has to be like one pointed. And he was the best of all the students, and but still, although he is extremely qualified, he says, I can't control my mind. So then after that, Lord Krishna is saying, he's agreeing it's very difficult to control the mind, but it is possible. But you just need to have a suitable practice, and you have to be detached. So in that way, one can control the mind. And today we are in 636 here, so I will read this verse. So I read the Sanskrit. Asamyatat manayogo dushprapayiti me mati vashyat manatu satata shaktyo vaptum aputyata. Translation. For one whose mind is unbridled, which means uncontrolled, unbridled self-realization is difficult work. But he whose mind is controlled and who strives by appropriate means is assured of success. That is my opinion. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead declares that one who does not accept the proper treatment to detach the mind from material engagement can hardly achieve success in self-realization. Trying to practice yoga while engaging the mind in material enjoyment is like trying to ignite a fire while pouring water on it. Yoga practice without mental control is a waste of time. Such a show of yoga may be materially lucrative, but it is useless as far as spiritual realization is concerned. Therefore, one must control the mind by engaging it constantly in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Unless one is engaged in Krishna consciousness, he cannot steadily control the mind. A Krishna conscious person easily achieves the result of yoga practice without separate endeavor. But the yoga practitioner cannot achieve success without becoming Krishna conscious. Jai. Om Gyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitan Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivastadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I read the verse again. For one whose mind is unbridled, self-realization is difficult work. So why is it that controlling the mind is so extremely important, not only actually for spiritual life, but also for material life? What would you say here, our participants? Why is control of the mind so important? Let's see here.
If I may.
Yes, sure.
I was just remembering, I was training jiu-jitsu for quite a while when I was still living in Germany. And our trainer always said that if we manage to control the head of an opponent, the body will always follow. So if you push against the neck or something and the person leans backward, then the whole body will follow the head. And I think it can be a good comparison with the mind. So wherever the mind goes, in a way, also the body follows, or it's like setting the direction for our life. So by controlling the mind, we also can overall steer everything else and like keep a steady course to where we want to go.
Yeah, I think that's really nice. I really like that. Wherever the head goes, then everything else will follow. Yeah, I never thought about that, but it's like even physically, it is like that. Yeah, thank you. It was very nice. I see here Bhakta Philip is writing in the chat, withdrawing the senses. So that's the whole idea. You mean to control the senses, right? If we control the mind, we can control the senses, like Miri said, control the head, and then the rest of the body follows. Yeah. So also, like we said before, that there's an eternal competition between the mind and the soul, and so who is going to win? So if we get a new material body, it means that again the mind has won, and let's say we have had 1 million births, it means that the soul has not won even once, because if the soul wins, then we go back to the spiritual world. So the mind is going to create the next body. So it depends whatever the mind is like focusing on. So then that will be the create the external appearance, the senses and the body like that. So if the mind is, like in the Vedas, there is this example of the man, when he dies, he thinks of the wife. Next life, he takes birth as a woman. Or the wife, when she dies, she thinks of the husband, and then she takes birth as a man. So when we are like focusing the mind, especially at the time of death, which is like the summary of our whole life, that moment of death is the summary of all our desires and everything we have done. So then that summary is actually the summary of a next body. So that's why the controlling the mind is so important. So then there are different paths in spiritual life, like the Vedas are describing so many different paths which we can have. You have the Brahmavadis, who are focusing, let's say they may also do Ashtanga yoga, where they are focusing on the super soul in the heart. But then when they realize the super soul in the heart, then instead of wanting to serve the super soul, meaning Krishna or Vishnu, so then they desire to become one with him. So so then when they desire to become one with him, then they become one with Brahmayoti. So that is like one path. And but let's say if that same Ashtanga yogi, if he sees Lord Vishnu in his heart as in the form of the supersoul, and then he desires, oh, I want to serve this wonderful personality. So then he jumps out of this practice of impersonalism, and he actually becomes now a devotee and starts practicing devotional service. So that is also like, even at that point, we have to control the mind, not that we are overwhelmed by the, all the perfections of yoga, which Ashtanga yoga is actually giving some different perfections of yoga. I was reading the other day, the last snare of Maya is that she will put the yogi in the illusion that you can become God now. So that is the last snare of Maya. So one has to avoid that one. So that is one path, the Ashtanga yoga process, which Arjuna is saying to Lord Krishna, because Krishna is presenting it in Bhagavad-gita as one path. But then Arjuna is saying, this is not possible for me, because the wind is easier to control than the mind. So then what one can do, which is much more easy, and it's actually more natural for the soul, is not this automatic process of step by step becoming more detached from matter. That's like a little bit robotic type of way, but the more natural way for the soul is actually because the soul is a person and Krishna is a person, and then to just establish a relationship there with the Lord through 9 different ways how you can practice bhakti yoga. So starting with hearing about Krishna, and then glorifying Krishna, remembering Krishna, worshipping the deity, offering prayers, going on pilgrimage, become a friend with Krishna, surrendering everything to him at the end. So I think I missed a few ones, but they are 9 different ways, serving his lotus feet and so on. So that's the 9 limbs of bhakti yoga. So one can do like that. I would like to welcome those who came in a little later. Hare Krishna. So we are
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Welcome, Katarina and Saraswati, and I think it was
Hare Krishna. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Nice that you are here. We are on Bhagavad-gita 636 today. So we were discussing why is it so important to be able to control the mind, and what are the advantages and what can happen if we don't, if we're not able to control the mind. Yeah, so I don't know if you want to contribute something to that question, then you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, we can continue. Okay, I can read a little bit more here on that was just the first sentence. Yeah, so Krishna is saying self-realization becomes a very difficult work if we don't control the mind. But if one manages to control the mind, but he whose mind is controlled and who strives by appropriate means is assured of success. That is my opinion. And then we can go through the purport here where Prabhupada is saying the Supreme Personality of Godhead declares that one who does not accept the proper treatment to detach the mind from material engagement can hardly achieve success in self-realization. So the proper treatment I was discussing last time, like in Bhakti Yoga, then it means the practice of the sadhana. For instance, to wake up early, chant Hare Krishna mantra. That's like the fundament and then to also study the Shastra, the scriptures together with devotees, to serve the spiritual master, and so on, offering their food and follow four regulative principles. So there are like many things going on pilgrimage and all of that. So there are like different practices. If one can do all of them, fantastic. One will be able to advance extremely quickly in spiritual life. But if one can't, because that's what we call the direct way, direct devotional service to Krishna. If one can't, because different circumstances in one's life, so then one can do something, and even if we do a little bit, it is actually extremely powerful for one's advancement in spiritual life. Yeah, so then one can achieve that desired success in spiritual life. Let's see here. I had made some notes for today. Yeah, so as we said a few weeks before, that the faith is very important, that we have faith in this process, because I gave the example, you step on a bus and all of a sudden you think, oh, the bus is not going to take me where I'm going. So then you step out of the bus because you lost faith that it will take you where you want to go. So in the same way, this process, we have to have faith in it, that it will give us more, it will give us more value than we are giving in. So it will give some certain reward there. So let's see here. So in last verse also, Srila Prabhupada was mentioning something called vairagya, which means to be detached, to practice the detachment. So this has to do with the mind also and the soul. We are attached and we can become detached. So now we are, attached to material sense gratification, and we want to take that attachment and just shift it over to being attached to Krishna, serving Krishna. So that is how the bhakti path is doing. And shifting it over, what does that mean? It means actually that we just connect everything we like, we connect it with Krishna. Not like 100% everything. There are certain things which one should give up, like, meat eating, for instance, and intoxication, and gambling, and what is it? Illicit sex. So those things, eventually one will automatically actually be lose the taste for those things if one is practicing properly. So, but then other things is in one's own life, one has to see how can I connect it with Krishna, because then it becomes bhakti. So, for example, the eating, this is something which we do every day and which we enjoy a lot. So if we take the food, the vegetarian food which we cooked, we offer it to Krishna, and then when we eat it, then it's actually not sense gratification, because we were cooking for Krishna, and then we offer it to him when we eat it, or it's called honoring prasadam. When we eat it or honor it, so then we feel that, oh, this is so nice because Krishna has actually tasted it. You can feel that now it has changed. It's like Krishna giving back his love to us, and we can feel very satisfied. So then it's actually not that we are just enjoying a piece of food, but we are enjoying a loving relationship with the Supreme Lord through the food. It's like your friend come to your home, and then you want to cook something nice for your friend, and you're really meditating, what shall I cook, what my friend likes to eat, and you look up the recipes and you make some really nice preparation, and then you serve it to your friend, and you just enjoy to see how much your friend actually likes that food. So that is your enjoyment, actually. So in the same way, when whatever we do for Krishna, if we really do it with a desire to please him, so then it will no longer be material. What we do, it will actually now transform and shift over to the spiritual energy. And with these things, it can be whatever we do in our work. We do it for Krishna's pleasure, or whatever we eat. How we decorate our home for Krishna's pleasure. He likes, for instance, a clean home. So then we clean it for him, and things like that. So then it is actually spiritual life. So I think it's quite important, this point here. I have been mentioning it many times, but one can easily forget it again, because many times people think that spiritual life is, and this is actually the path of jnana, that spiritual life is you put this thing like the horses have, so that they will not see the traffic and become afraid. And you go through life like this and being afraid, oh, there is Maya everywhere, there is so many temptations everywhere, like that. So then that is like, okay, it's good that one wants to become detached, but the real way to become detached is actually to connect what one is attached to connect that with Krishna. Even Prabhupada in Stockholm, he said to the audience there, because he saw that they were very much into drinking wine. So then he said, if you see that the taste of wine is Krishna, so then you will actually become spiritually self-realized. So that was the level of his audience, and he just uplifted them in that way. Later on, of course, when I think there was actually one person who was a drunkard, and he became actually a devotee by just practicing what Prabhupada told him. So then later on, one gives up the drinking wine. But the point is that one has to understand that in matter, whatever is attractive to us in the material energy is actually nothing else than Krishna himself. So that is the point. And with the knowledge, we will be able to like, how do you say, decipher that, oh, here is Krishna now. What is it that I like so much about these things? Oh, it's because it's Krishna. Yeah, so so where our attachment lies, we may have relationships, social dealings, emotions, and so on. If we don't understand this point here, which I just mentioned, then everything will remain a mystery for us. How we can deal with the material world as a spiritual person, we will not be able to deal in a balanced way. Because one cannot see the connection with the spiritual life. So then one will have a double life. I'm a devotee, but I'm also attracted to material sense gratification. So it's like, so what is going to unite and balance these two personalities, you can say, is actually the knowledge, the proper understanding, and the proper practice. And then you will be like a full person, a full spiritual and balanced person. Otherwise, if one is just like this, then one is still on the impersonal path. But because you think everything is Maya, everything is illusion, everything, or like the Christians, everything is Satan. So then you're like Satan consciousness all the time and afraid all the time. So no, everything is Krishna. That's what we have to realize. So then one would become this balanced and loving personality, spiritual personality. Yeah, so I think this point is so important. So if anyone has any questions on this, then let's have a discussion. If my husband maybe would like to add something, or
Yeah, thank you very much for mentioning this point, and it's actually very, very radical for the common understanding of the spirituality, and that's what we said. Bhakti yoga is the positive path for self-realization. When I joined, it was more this kind of what you describe. Everything was Maya, and that is another philosophy called Mayavadism. But it sounds kind of more familiar also on the Western background. From the Western background of people, we have heard normally just monasteries as this kind of a place of austerities, Luther and all that. So it's quite not familiar for the Westerners to connect spiritualism like that, which is a very jolly and uplifting path, but not really known very well. So I don't think that it can be overemphasized, because many failed then ultimately, because that narrow mindedness doesn't last a normal life.
Thank you, Prabhu. Saraswati, do you have something you would like to add? Or back then, Mary, you have something?
Not right now, no. I'm thinking about it, but felt like this lecture in the last, like it's in a way pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But,
Okay, that's good. Yeah. And Saraswati?
Yes, I just that point that we dedicate to Krishna all our actions and thoughts and activities. That resonates in my life. So I can trace how I practice this in my routine, for example. For example, just to see what kind of activity I do. If I do activity within the framework, so to say, of Srila Prabhupada's mission, that it's for sure that I do it for Krishna, and I don't mind to think more about this. So just for example, if I have service in the temple, that means I'm involved in the activity of Srila Prabhupada's mission, and I don't need to think more.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in that sense, because we are engaging senses and our minds, so not always we think that if we can exactly know that this is dedication, this is remembrance, this will remember Krishna during this activity, or in this activity we didn't remember Krishna. And if besides Srila Prabhupada's mission, for example, at home, I try also to trace this all the time, what I feel. So just to be sometimes to be slow, to do a little bit slower, to divide activities to some small parts that I can understand and meditate what's going on in my meditation. So, and what is the aim of my activity, for example? That's
Yeah, like for instance, why do we brush our teeth? Why do we take a shower?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. All the time. That just think this is this kind of activity. What I'm going to think. What I'm going to dedicate. Whom I'm going to dedicate it. And
Yeah.
you're totally right. When I didn't have deities at home, I just cooked very simple stuff. Just boiled potatoes and buckwheat. And when I had deities, I had to check recipes and to please deities, to think what will be better for deities. And it happens that it is according to my diet, according to my menu. It is very good for me to have this variety as well. So
yeah, exactly.
it was a kind of gift when deities. I have Jagannath Goddess Subhadra,
Okay, very
and
nice.
I know that they like to they enjoy food, different kinds of
Yes,
food a lot,
that's
like to
true.
eat.
Yeah.
And it was so pleasant to organize. In the very beginning, it was difficult. Then it was more easier, and then I'm becoming more advanced at arranging menu for them.
Yes. Oh, that's really nice to hear.
Yeah, and so that's just the improvement of activities that happens when Krishna just have that gift to accept your service.
Yeah. Yeah, it becomes more easy when we have deities, because then the direct and the indirect, they kind of merge with one another. Like the direct devotional service, like you said, when I go to the temple, you know that this is for Krishna, this is for the mission. But when I'm at home, that's, how do we spiritual life, the day-to-day activity?
Yeah.
That's the indirect. So if we have like deities at home, like let's say you brush your teeth, because otherwise when you're going to when you worship
You have
deities, and you say the
exactly.
mantras, so then
Yes, you have to be with clean mouth to say mantras. That's japa meditation.
Yeah. And then Krishna is pleased, everyone else will be pleased, because then when you talk with someone else, then they will not feel also bad smell from the mouth. So like that, it's like that, because it said you water the root, Krishna is pleased, everyone else will be pleased. Or you have like clean house, clean home, like that, because of the pleasure of the Lord. Even if you don't have deities, but still, you still can do it for the pleasure of the Lord. Krishna likes cleanliness, or you can still brush your teeth, take a shower in the morning, because that's what Krishna appreciates. So like that, we have to connect everything. So that is actually yoga. Yoga means to connect. So yeah, thank you, Saraswati.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I think there were some other points here, which I have in my notes. Let me see if I can find. So another thing, because in the material world, we are attracted to different things in the material world. Some people like luxury and comfort. Other people may like, some austerity or, hiking in the woods or something, can be so many different things, more the sporty type. And they like the nature, and other people like other things. So what we need to know is that what we appreciate in everything here is actually Krishna. And so when we understand, when we look at the sun going down, a sunset, and we think, wow, so beautiful. And then we appreciate, we glorify Krishna, because the Lord is so, how do you say, so artistic. So then that becomes bhakti. So that's how simple spiritual life can be. We see a beautiful flower, we think, oh, Krishna is so artistic. So we appreciate Krishna's artistic qualities, like that. Or if we are a designer and we design something fantastic out of which is blowing our own mind, so we understand, oh, I was just an instrument, because what manifested here was actually just Krishna's artistic skills through it manifested through me. So like that, then we don't become proud, oh, I did this, I'm this big designer. No, it's, I was just an instrument. So like that, we give the honor and we give the glory to the Lord. So in that's already, spiritual life there in that mentality. That's already Krishna consciousness. So if we understand these points, we will understand Bhagavad-gita and we will understand what bhakti is, what bhakti yoga is. Or we can, some people are good at business and they can just very easily make a profit. So then they also don't become puffed up and think, oh, I'm such a big business person. But no, it's Krishna in the super soul. He gave me actually the intelligence how to do this, what to say, and things like that. So we give the honor to Krishna like that. So then we are Krishna conscious and we are making spiritual advancement. And then the whoever is, like we were speaking the other day here in the temple, that if the main how do you call it, a duty of a working person is actually to give charity. So then, okay, we give some charity to Krishna, to the temple or to the guru or whoever. So like that. So that we learn that the result of our work actually, so that we can become detached. Otherwise, we become too attached to miser. No, we have to always, the energy flows in and it has to flow out again, and then it will flow in and out. Otherwise, if you are like in a stuffy room without any air, you will slowly become more and more tired and like that, and there will be no flow. So there always has to be this flow of the energies, and it will always come back. We don't need to be, afraid that it will not come back as long as we allow the flow go like this. And there is a cooperation with the Lord in that sense. Then let me see here, the indirect activities. Yeah, that I already took. And then the point. So whatever we are attached to, we connect it with the Supreme Lord. Like he's the owner of everything. The energy comes from him. And otherwise, what we do will lose its value. It will not have any value if we don't manage to connect it with him. And then our consciousness will go down. We will not be, this free, happy, jolly spirit because we have become attached. So that's nothing to recommend. That material attachment is it's a very hellish condition, actually. So we have to learn to transcend that hellish consciousness, where one is not even aware that the Lord is just here with us in the heart, outside, inside. It's like he's just everywhere. So when we realize that, so then we actually automatically will become very blissful persons. So that's what in the previous verse was called the spiritual satisfaction. Like Prabhupada gave that example. The hungry man, he eats something and then slowly he feels a little bit more strength and a little bit more satisfied, less hungry. So that then we can see, are we making spiritual advancement or not? So that's why these lectures, this Bhagavad-gita, we have to apply it in our life. And then we will actually make 100%, we will actually make quick spiritual advancement, actually, because bhakti is a very powerful process. And let me see here. Then I had some, if nobody has anything to say, so then I will go into some quotes, nice quotes, which I found. What Krishna consciousness actually is, it is about actually loving the Supreme Lord. And then Prabhupada is saying in Nectar of Devotion, chapter 33, a person who wants to give everything in charity to Krishna but does not want anything in return is considered the real renouncer. Thus, a devotee will refuse to accept any kind of liberation, even if it is offered by the Lord. Real love of Krishna becomes manifest when Krishna becomes the recipient of charity and the devotee becomes the giver. From this example, we can see that most people, if they are doing something religious, is because they approach God or they approach the demigods because they want something in return. It's not that they're coming there that because out of love of God or out of love of the demigod. They approach and they do some service because they want something back, something material back, like becoming more rich, more famous, more powerful, like that. But this is the difference with Krishna consciousness, that instead of going and asking God for something, then we ask him one thing when we chant Hare Krishna, is like, please engage me in your service. So that's the only thing which we are asking. And then another important point here is to understand our position in relationship with him, is that Krishna is described as the Purusha. So Purusha means enjoyer, and Prakriti means to be enjoyed. And then Prabhupada is saying, don't think that enjoyed means simply sex. No, enjoyed means subordinate. It means to carry out the order of the Purusha. So it means, like a servant. This is the position of Krishna and ourself. We are part and parcel, just like the hand and the legs are my part and parcel of the body. So the duty of the hand and leg is to carry out my order. I say to my leg, carry me there. It will do immediately. My hand, just take it. And then I'll take it. The hand will take it. So this is Prakriti and Purusha. The Purusha is giving the order, and the Prakriti performs the order, the duty. This is the real, not that as soon as we say Prakriti and Purusha, immediately there is a question of sex. No, it means Prakriti means obedient to the Purusha. This is a natural way. In the Western countries, they are artificially trying to become equal, but that is not possible by nature, and there is no such question. Inferiority or superiority, there is no such question. Such like in the beginning, where from is this Purusha and Prakriti relationship? From where is this Purusha and Prakriti relationship? It has begun from the absolute truth. So the absolute truth is Radha Krishna, the same Purusha and Prakriti. But Radharani is the servitor. She is the serving. Radharani, when we chant Hare, Hare is Radharani's name, so then Krishna. So there you have the Prakriti, you have the Purusha. So Radha Krishna, the same Purusha and Prakriti, but Radharani is the servitor, and she's so expert that she always attracts Krishna by her service. This is Radharani's position. Krishna is called Madan Mohan. Here in Vrindavan, there is Madan Mohan, and Radharani is called Madan Mohan Mohini. Krishna is so attractive that we are attracted by Cupid, but Krishna attracts Cupid. Therefore, his name is Madan Mohan, and Radharani is so great that she attracts Krishna. Therefore, she is the greatest. In Vrindavan, therefore, people are accustomed to chant Radharani's name more than Krishna's name. Jai Radhe. Yes, if you want Krishna's favor, you just try to please Radharani. So this is the way. So this is a little bit the relationship. It's called Sambandha Jnana. Sambandha Jnana means the knowledge of the relationships. So that is very important, that we understand the relationship. So Krishna is the enjoyer and we are the enjoyed. So like Prabhupada said, it has nothing to do with sex life. It has to do with one is giving the order, the other one is following. Like, let's say, because in the material world, we are like rebellious souls here. And if someone tells us, now you have to obey, then we don't like to hear that. But at the same time, we want a smooth life. So that's the contradictory, because let's say, if our hand is not wanting to cooperate, we want to, drink a glass of water and we are not able to lift it. So then that will be a disturbance. Or if we want to walk somewhere and the legs don't want to follow the orders to walk, so then that's a disturbance. So in the same way, if the souls in the whole existence, if they don't want to cooperate with God, that's a disturbance. It's a disturbance in his pastime. So that's why those souls that don't want to cooperate, so then they come here in the material world for some kind of reformation, until we understand that, if I cooperate, then I will be so much more happy. Instead of trying to be independent in our endeavors for our own little, miser little bubble in which we are living. So we try to be independent there and try to create some kind of our own universe with our own rules and so on. But usually it's just a disaster. So then slowly we can learn how to connect everything with the Lord and understand how to transcend this whole existence here. Yeah, so I don't know if someone would like to ask some questions or make some comments on these topics. My husband, are you still there?
Yeah, but you were speaking so nicely that I don't have any comment.
Thank you. And Kalyani?
Sure, somebody has.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, welcome.
Sorry again, today I was late as Monday puja
No,
got
yeah,
late.
no problem.
But I wanted to see you and meet you also, so I joined at the last moment.
Yeah, nice that you're here. Yeah.
Very nice words you spoke, Mataji. Like, first to control, I think, even I feel that we should first control the way we are enjoying with our senses, and then we can focus more.
Yes, it's regulated. You are from India, so for you it's very easy. You are from childhood, you are, taught into that everything has to be regulated. The sense gratification has to be regulated.
And specifically when we do it thinking about the God, it becomes so easy. Usually on a normal day, if I don't eat my breakfast by 9 o'clock, I will be so cranky. But when I think that today I'm fasting, I will not be, I will be able to do it. It is
Yes.
very surprising to me.
Yes. We get the strength also from Krishna to be able to do those fasts, because we may think, oh, I will die if I don't eat. It's like this nirjala ekadasi, no water and no food in 36 hours. So that's and during the summertime. So I always think, how am I going to survive this day? But we take little by little, and then somehow we manage. And then in next morning we have to take a shower and put on tilak. We have to worship the deity. We have to give to some brahmana. We have to feed a brahmana first, give charity, and then after that we can break our own fast. So after doing all of that, then I'm always surprised I was able to manage. But we give, if we are determined, then Krishna will give what is lacking. So he's saying in Bhagavad-gita, whatever is lacking, he's going to provide that.
Yeah. Yes, I think tomorrow is the Ekadasi, Deva Tani
Yes.
Ekadasi.
Yes, tomorrow is Ekadasi. So then we don't eat any grains, like no rice, beans, what is there more? Peas.
Yeah, next
sesame.
4 days is more important for us.
These last 4 days is Bhishma
Yeah,
Karma.
last 4 days. Yes.
Yeah.
Day after tomorrow is Kshirabdi Dwadasi, on which day that milk ocean was churned. It was churned on that day, they say.
Yeah.
And then Vaikunta Chaturdasi and then Purnima.
Yeah. So do you follow Ekadasi all these 4 days or?
Today, Monday, we fast, and tomorrow, Ekadasi, again, we fast.
Mm.
And then Friday, again, we fast for Purnami.
Okay, yeah.
But today, I can eat in the evening, so I ate today evening, but tomorrow we won't eat.
Yeah, nothing at all. Yeah.
I'm surprised how I am able to do all this because I cannot take hunger at all.
Yeah. But when there is determination, so then Krishna will provide whatever is needed.
Yeah, if we take his name, then we can do anything.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean that's another way to learn how to control the mind is this doing these fasting days. Then we can also, because we have to take a step back from like disidentify ourselves with the body, all the demands, which is like a constant flow into the heart. I want this, I need this, I drink water, this, that. And then when you're fasting, you have to like take that distance and say, okay, no to everything, all of that. So, and then we can see how much we are actually identifying with the bodily needs. So the fasting is very good for that. And that is, as we do it for Krishna's pleasure. So then, that's why I think we can survive, because we are doing it for his pleasure. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, Mataji.
Nice.
I'd like to mention just a comment related to austerities, like these are definitely special days, and even it's a little the special stressful austerity, it's so beneficial. But in general, austerities, like we met some time ago, the Buddhist monk in the monastery there actually in Turku. They have a big monastery there, and well, not so many are there, but as a facility is quite big. So the discussion came, what are austerities for? And they are like making the space for the positive service, but in general they are not themselves, not the aim. It's not that. I mean, there are so many much more austere ones, like trees on the outside or the animals and like that. But of course, these special days like now, it's very glorious to, even it's tough to be just eat vegetarian, eat fruits and even fasting fully someday and like that. But the austerity aspect is just to make space for the more positive thing, like, for the positive service, for reading, hearing, serving, and like that. So normal days is that we should balance, so that if it gets too heavy, we can't do anything else, then we are a little on the other side. If it's no austerity, then again we can't do like that. So therefore, for the mind, Lord has designed it so that for the mind, the easiest thing is the regularity, that it knows that, okay, we are eating this evening. Like she said, that it's, like for me, it's fasting is very difficult. But if I know that, okay, then 6 o'clock or in the evening, or whatever, or today I can eat fruits and like that, then mind tolerates that. So the regularity is with everything. Regularity is the basis of anything. People go to work, they have to work some certain amount of hours. They have to sleep averagely a certain amount of. Everything requires regularity, and it's said that the whole universe is actually created by the austerity. So all these great things we can see in our societies, buildings, good society structure, and educational systems, they are all created due to that somebody did an austerity. So nothing will be created without austerity, but if austerity is just the aim itself, then it may not be so creative, although beneficial definitely for the practice of oneself.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm studying to become a teacher. So then you said educational system. It's like, but every teacher walking on earth has been going through very difficult master study for 5 years. So that's also a huge austerity. So yeah, but I mean, like Prabhupada said in this purport here that he said, let's see, unless one is engaged, no. He says, he's saying that yoga practice without mental control is a waste of time. And such a show of yoga may be materially lucrative, but it is useless as far as spiritual realization is concerned. So if we exchange yoga with austerity, what you were talking about, so then it's useless if it's not connected with Krishna. So therefore, Prabhupada is continuing. One must control the mind by engaging it constantly in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Unless one is engaged in Krishna consciousness, he cannot steadily control the mind. And a Krishna conscious person easily achieves the result of yoga practice without separate endeavor. But a yoga practitioner cannot achieve success without becoming Krishna conscious. So without bhakti, there has to be a little bit element of bhakti in everything. Otherwise, one cannot actually get any success. So for a materialist, it's maybe not bhakti, but it's like some kind of sacrifice, some kind of hard work, some kind of hard endeavor and being focused. And then one will get, a result like that. Of course, it's not only dependent on that, it's also dependent on one's karma, but still some kind of endeavor. And the karma comes from previous life, but there was some hard endeavor there, some kind of bhakti, which one has done before. So then one becomes successful. So without bhakti, it's actually that connection with the Lord, then there is no result without that. Yeah, so even for the materialist. Okay, so we have reached, I think, a natural ending here today. And yeah, I hope everyone has a nice Krishna conscious weekend. If you want, you can follow this Bhishma Panchak from tomorrow until the 16th of November and only eat fruits and roots. And I think, what's that? I don't think it's diaries in that. It's only fruits and roots. Yeah. So a few days of fasting for the pleasure of the Lord, which can be quite uplifting, actually. Jai. So thank you very much. All glories to the Bhagavad-gita, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna to
Mataji.
everyone.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Bye.
Hare Krishna.